you all for coming. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Betsy Foxman, and I'm the director of the Center for Molecular and Clinical Epidemiology of Infectious Diseases. And MAC-EPID was established in 1999 with the goal of fostering research and education and teaching focused on transmission, pathogenesis, evolution, and ecology of infectious diseases and their causative agents. And so our goal is to engage interested faculty, students, and staff from throughout the university and beyond. And to achieve that goal, we have two major activities. One is an interdisciplinary training program, and the other is holding this semi-annual symposium series. So we have two training programs. The first is the integrated training program in microbial systems, which is funded by Burroughs Wellcome. And the aim of this program is to train future scientists who will design, implement novel prevention, diagnostic, and treatment strategies stemming from a deep understanding of the impact of microbial communities on human and environmental health. And ITEMS is open to all doctoral students at the University of Michigan. And under the tutelage of their mentors, who are required to have combined expertise in population and laboratory methods and mathematical modeling, ITEM students develop an individualized training program that integrates population and laboratory approaches. And it provides tuition and stipend for up to 2 years. So the second training program is the Certificate in Healthcare Infection Prevention and Control, which we call CHIP. And this program is open to master's students at SPH. The certificate entails completion of 14 credit hours, and it's modeled, and those credit hours were designed to help students prepare for the exit competencies for completing the certification examination in infection prevention. And students can also apply for internship placements in infection control units at local hospitals like you see here. And so far we've had 54 interns placed. And as best I know, every intern, one who did the summer program who wanted to work in infection control is an IP at this moment. And 3 of them actually are directors at this moment. So since 2003, MAC-EPID has hosted 2 to 3 symposia each year. And for the last several years, there's been 1 symposium per semester. So today is our 30th symposium. Yeah, so it's a lot of work. And this shows the list. The symposium have been on a variety of topics, from the microbiome and population health to medical ecology to antibiotic resistance. And of course today is on malaria, which is not on this list. And usually the topics are chosen using a highly quantitative method that involves evaluating what topics are hot, and you see our hardworking committee here. But today's symposium topic and speakers were selected using a slightly different process because this symposium honors Mark Wilson. And Mark, we're going to give you applause now. I'd like to, since I have the floor, I want to personally thank you for all your contributions to the department over the years and your generous and very thoughtful mentoring of students. It's been a real pleasure. So Henry B. Adams said that, if I can read this quote, a teacher affects eternity, and he can never tell where his influence stops. But as a teacher, I can say it is really gratifying to see where that influence has led. And so I think today's symposium showcases Mark's influence by showcasing his 3 students today, and gives a little taste of your broad influence that you have had over the years and will continue to have. So one of Mark's popular courses, which did not actually exist before joining the department, was on GIS. And as you will hear in the first talk by Dr. Green, GIS has important implications in public health surveillance. And Mark's research projects address environmental and social variation in time and space as it impacts on vector and reservoir populations and pathogen transmission patterns. And many of his students did their dissertations on malaria, as we'll hear, and now continue to work in that area, as we'll hear from Dr. Cohen. So I have been surprised when I looked this up that malaria transmission has decreased dramatically over the past 2 decades, which is not something that I knew about. But there are still substantial barriers, and we will hear about that today. But first, I just have a few housekeeping things. Because one of our training goals one of our goals is training and professionalization of students. Each speaker is introduced by a student. And so as backstory, prior to the symposium, we held a journal club where we discussed the papers that were recommended by the speakers, and we hope that that will help facilitate today's discussion. Also, you'll notice that there are big breaks in between each talk. That's by design. It's to facilitate so that I don't have to cut off questions, so keep on going, asking questions. And also to have a lot of time for networking between, which is one of our other goals, is to make sure that everybody who attends has an opportunity to talk individually with the speakers if they wish, and to talk to other members of the audience. Putting on a symposium with over 150 attendees twice a year is a major effort, so would you please join me in thanking Anna Cronenwet, who you've been seeing on the has really done a great job in making it very smooth for me. So there you go. She also has arranged for this to be a zero waste event. So please look at the bins. We have all compostable, it's not plasticware, it's compostable silverware, I don't know what you call it, compostaware. And that you can put your food, tea bags, plates, cups, with the ware and napkins all in the compost bins. Recycle would be aluminum, and trash would be like tea wrappers. So if you don't know for sure, you can ask someone who knows, or just won't throw it out. Before I go to the finally, in case you don't know, there are no bathrooms on the floor of this room, of this building, on this floor. They are up one down, or one down one floor. So if you have to go, you go all around this floor and you will not find one. All right. But finally, not only takes staff time to man a symposium, it takes money. And I would like to thank our sponsors. The department has generously allowed the Gudikins Lectureship to help support these symposia. There's also some funds that we have that we fundraise for MAC-EPID, and also from the Dean's office, and would be delighted if some generous individuals would like to help consider supporting us in the future. And so without further ado, you'll notice we have another one already planned. But I'm going to turn the podium over to Dr. Joe Eisenberg, the Chair of Epidemiology, who's going to say a few words.
So it's my honor to say a few words about Mark, who you're honoring today. So Mark Wilson's career has spanned over 30 years of scholarship and mentorship. And I think I've known Mark maybe half of those years at least. And what struck me about his scholarship is that he's always thoughtful and always interested in really thinking deeply about the concept that he's looking at. Mark is not about publishing the least publishable unit. But also what struck me is throughout the years is how he's not interested in promoting himself. He's been much more interested in promoting his students. And I think his true legacy in his career has been his mentorship. And we're here today to actually witness that, because the three speakers here have one thing in common, and that they were all mentored by Mark. And they're all leaders in their fields, as Betsy had mentioned. So a little bit about Mark and his history. Mark started his career as a biologist, receiving his BA in psychobiology at Heim College in Ohio, and then his doctorate at Harvard, where he was mentored by Richard Levins, the famous mathematical ecologist. Here in the 1990s is where Mark, among other work, focused on showing an alarming number of new infections that sprung from changes in the environment, either natural or caused by humans, which began his work on environmental determinants of infectious diseases. So after a 3-year postdoc at the Institut Pasteur at Dakar, Senegal, where he learned French, met his wife, he became assistant professor at Yale in the Department of Epidemiology, and after 5 years there, he came on to our department at the University of Michigan. It was actually a joint appointment with Epidemiology and Ecology and Evolutionary Biology. So Mark is an ecologist and epidemiologist with broad interest in infectious disease transmission. His research spanned a very wide range. His first publication was in the Journal of Primates, where he studied the maintenance and behavior of chimpanzees. Early part of his career, he's published extensively on tick ecology, including deer tick that vectors Borrelia burgdorferi, the agent of Lyme disease. He's published on Crimean Congo hemorrhagic fever virus in the Senegal and its tick vector, the sandfly that vectors leishmaniasis, Venezuela hemorrhagic fever, Rift Valley fever, and Orokuchu virus, among others. It's his focus on malaria, which came in later in his career. That's what we're mostly aware of, and that's the theme of this symposium. Here, he's become a leader in the social and ecological determinants of malaria transmission. And his shift to malaria also was a time of his career where he shifted his focus on research in conjunction with student mentorship. And again, as exemplified by our 3 plenary speakers, I think his legacy is his extraordinary mentorship of students. Mark's mentorship has been so successful, I think, because he recognizes that students bring their whole selves into the academic space where we meet them. Mark engages in the whole student, providing positive critical oversight of their academic work, encouraging them to stay focused and motivated, but also serving as a steady and compassionate presence in their lives. He gains the confidence of students, not just his students, but our students as well, who feel safe confiding in him on personal issues and struggles. From there, he's able to fully support them in making decisions in their experience at Michigan. And I think as we're unfolding diversity and equity and inclusion at the school and the university level, I think Mark serves an exemplar of what we should be aspiring to achieve in our faculty-student relationships. His legacy was acknowledged last April in the SPH ceremony, where he was presented SPH Excellence in Student and Teaching. And I think this symposium is another acknowledgement of that as we celebrate the success of our alumni that we're oh so lucky to have Mark as his mentor. So, thank you.